Hello, everyone. My name is Sean, and you are listening to the next episode of the Autism Athletics podcast. Today, I have a friend of mine named Chad Cannon, longtime friend, and we will go into all of the sports that he's played and all that he has done involved in sports. He'll go into much more detail than I can. So please give it up for Chad Cannon.
Thank you, guys.
So first, we're going to start with his athletic background because that's usually how people get into sports. So tell us about your athletic background.
Well, good to see you, John.
Thank you.
My buddy. I'm excited to be here. Well, I just grew up playing sports. I remember my first memory of sports is probably being about 3 or 4 years old playing um, t-ball, and I really remember playing sports at my sister's softball games when we would go to the park and we would play cup ball. It was like if you didn't have a tennis ball, you would just ball up a ball of tinfoil or paper cup, and that's what you would play. And I remember doing that when I was real little. But yeah, I just have always played baseball and basketball and football pretty much my whole life.
And I know that you played baseball in college. If you want to go into that,
Yeah, I played 2 years of high school baseball, and I walked on in college. I wasn't great. I was fast. Uh, I hit okay, and I just walked on and played it at a little junior college, but
okay.
wasn't nothing spectacular. Probably wouldn't have saw the field very much, but yeah, I loved it, and I realized when you get to college, it's really a grind, and you really have to love it because your extracurricular activities, life outside of the sport you're in, pretty much is gone. So I played a little bit in college, but not much.
I've always said before that any kind of college ball is always impressive to me, no matter where you play.
Yeah, you learn that as you get older because we only see the athletes that are on TV, and we don't see the thousands of other athletes that are playing small schools. And when you get there and you're thinking, well, I'm at a school with only 300 people, I'm going to probably be the best one here. And you realize, no, they are all equally or better than you. And your eyes get open to even playing in small schools is pretty impressive. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, because even like the smaller the players that played at smaller colleges, they can play pretty well against like the average Joes, and that's when you really get to see
Yes,
they're legit,
exactly.
even if they're like a backup.
Yeah, I will never forget when I came to the realization of this twice. In college, playing baseball, we had a guy who played center field for us who was an absolute stud. I mean, he was incredible. And I was like, how was this guy only playing at this little bitty small school? Like, it kind of blew my mind that this guy was this good. And it made me start thinking, if he's this good, how good are the ones who are playing at Georgia or Georgia Tech or whatever? And then another time when I was at West Georgia College, I was just playing basketball in the intramural gym with some buddies of mine. And there was a guy on the football team who happened to be in the gym playing basketball. And I remember him dribbling down baseline, and he just jumped and just dunked all over this guy. I thought, this guy's not even on the basketball team here. Like, he was crazy good at basketball, but he didn't even play on the team. And it just made me realize how good people really are, that there are people on the basketball team way better than this guy.
Right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you've already kind of answered my next questions, but I'll ask the kid anyways. Just give me like one or two of your favorite memories from playing.
Oh, man. I've had so many fun memories of playing because I'm still currently playing sports. I still play basketball and a lot of flag football in some adult leagues.
Hold on, before you start, sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna get into your flag.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Favorite memory from sports.
Just it don't have to be long.
I remember this was not I was playing, but it wasn't necessarily a particular play. it was weird how this happened. And this is going to sound crazy. My senior year of high school, I won't name high schools we were playing against because it's probably still a sore subject. But we won region my senior year on a protest because of a guy who had thrown too many innings, and the coach brought him in to pitch the other team. And there was a rule you could only pitch certain amount of innings without having rest. And I remember winning region on a protest, which most people laugh at that because we were losing the game, but they had to forfeit because they were trying to bring in a player who had already thrown too many innings. And I was on first base when it happened, and I remember coaches calling timeout and wondering what's going on here, and there was the delay on the field, and so that was funny slash weird. Um, I remember a diving catch I made one time playing probably 16 or 17-year-old baseball, summer league. It was a pretty incredible catch. I had a ball hit way over my head, and I turned, and it wasn't Willie Mays, but it was the famous Willie Mays catch where you dive over your head.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, there's lots of them, man. I just enjoyed playing. Anything I could get my hands on or do, I would enjoy playing it.
That's awesome. Well, since we already brought it up, we'll just go straight into this question. So currently you play flag football, and it's really competitive leagues. So just go into that a little bit. Tell us what kind of league you play in, and just some of the players you've played with or against, and how you like it.
It's man, it's fun. You know, a lot of people hear flag football and they don't think competitive. They just think just kind of you're out there rinky dinking, but it's really competitive, and it's growing because it's just become a girls' sport in high school. So now in Cobb County or in Georgia, the state of Georgia, they offer flag football for girls, and you probably know that. So it's growing and it's getting momentum. But I played flag football in college, just in intramurals when I was at West Georgia, and it was really competitive. Um, uh, I was not in the fraternity. The fraternities dominated sports and flag football when I was at West Georgia, and I got on a team of guys that all just lived in the dorm room, and we competed with. And so that's when the flag football bug got in me, and then got married, finished college, and probably didn't play for a year or so. Then started playing again with some buddies of mine, and they just offered like you have adult basketball leagues or volleyball or softball leagues. I play in adult flag football leagues, and I also play in tournaments. They have tournaments, big national tournaments down in Orlando every year, and Tampa, and we go down to play in those big events. And it's a lot of D1 athletes play, but a lot of people didn't necessarily play football. It's a way for people who maybe not been big enough or tall enough or the size they needed, because you don't have to be big to play flag football. So, yeah, I've been playing it for 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Then I got a follow-up question. So just kind of give a brief synopsis to educate the fans on flag football. Like, what is it like?
Well, it's what I choose to play is 7v7, 7-on-7. You have a 1 yard rush line, so there's no blocking. You can't put hands on anybody. You can screen people. So when the ball snapped, all players are eligible. Everybody can catch passes. The center, everybody. And it's really a fast-paced game in the sense that if you're a quarterback, you have to get rid of the ball quick. You can run anytime you want to run. You can run. Usually, you have about 2 seconds to get rid of the ball, unless you're buying time, running and maneuvering. But yeah, it's a non-contact. They have contact flag football where you can put your hands on people at the line of scrimmage and push and all that. But I play non-contact, and it doesn't mean that there's not contact. If you have two guys going up to catch a pass, a defender, and they're bumping, they won't call a penalty. But in the sense that it's non-contact, I can't run into you and grab you and throw you, push you, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what it means. by non-contact. So it's a 40-yard field. It's 40 yards wide. So, 14 people on the field at once, 40 yards wide, and the actual length from touchdown to touchdown is 80 yards. So it's a little shorter. But yeah, it's incredible. It's a lot of fun. And they also offer uh, 5-on-5, which the field is smaller, a little bit different rules. 5-on-5, 4-on-4. 4-on-4 is very hard. It's just straight man to man, and you have to cover people in open space.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not good at 4-on-4 at all. I'm too old for that.
I don't know if you said this, you may have, but you're a quarterback, right?
Yeah, throw it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you run any?
Yeah, I used to run a lot more. I'm getting old, so I'm not as fast as I used to be. But yeah, I can run a little bit. I tend to try to throw more to get the ball into people who can run. I guess
I get that.
The typical, I want to get it to the playmakers, like that's what they say. But yeah, that was a time when I was a lot faster than I am now that I wouldn't mind taking off running.
And then I got one last question about flag. Do y'all have y'all have a playbook?
Yeah, I do. Well, we don't have a playbook, but I was playing on a team probably 14 or 15 years ago, and I was playing receiver. And we had a guy that was a real good quarterback, and he would just miss games sometimes, and I would end up having the quarterback because I played a little bit of quarterback when I was playing intramurals in college. And so it got to be where he just didn't show up. So I just came up with 3 simple routes for everybody to run, and we memorized them. It was just a 1, 2, and a 3, and it was the routes. It was an in, was an out, and it was a post. That's what we ran.
You want to tell people your plays?
Well, you got to stop them.
You got to stop it.
Yeah. So it was an in, it was an out, and it was a post. And then so we ran those 3 simple routes, and then I just started saying, okay, well, we can run combo routes out of this. If this guy's running this, then that means this guy can run something awesome. So then I expanded to 2 more routes. It was in, out, post, and a flag, which is basically a corner route. So in, out, post, flag, and a fly. So I had 5 routes. And it got to be where everybody I played with was so comfortable with the route tree that I guess we get beat. I'm not saying we've won a lot of tournaments and we've won, but there are better teams, and I'm not saying that. But what made it was the simplicity of my routes. And then it got to be where I didn't have to huddle to do anything. I could just tell everybody to go to the line of scrimmage, and I could just say it. And that was really an advantage. So they knew all 5 routes. Like everybody, like my kids even know. My daughter, Indy, is 20, and she knows she's never played flag football. But if I ask her, hey, Indy, what are my routes? She will tell you in, out, post, flag, fly. And so it just became easy so I can call routes from the line and not have to get in a huddle. So I can just have people go to the line of scrimmage and look at what the defense is doing, and I can call out my routes from there.
Okay.
So,
well, this one's not really going to be a question, but since we're on the topic of flag football, I just wanted to shout out my school, Hillgrove. So, first year, they made it to the state championship and lost. Second year, they made it and won. And I actually went to all the games because I had a friend named Ella Grace Earwood who played on the team.
Yeah.
And
Ella Grace.
This team was they only lost 1 game all year. It was to Marietta, and who they ended up beating in the championship. And this team was unbelievable. The quarterback was just smart, and they had a couple of girls, particularly one named Lauren Render.
Yeah.
She was unbelievable. The offense was literally just put it anywhere in her direction. She was getting it. And she was intercepting just about every pass. She was unbelievable. I don't know if you ever got to see him.
Well, I got to see him play one time. I didn't go up there much. She's actually playing. I think she's playing lacrosse in college. She's at Virginia Tech, I think. But yeah, she was a crazy good athlete, real good athlete. But yeah, it's. I've got a buddy that is the coach at Life College. He coaches their girls flag team, and they've been playing in the state of Florida. They have played flag football for girls for a long time. So the teams, I'm not saying we don't have good teams here in Georgia, but the teams in Florida are really, the girl teams are really, really, really good. So, but yeah, they had a great season a
Yeah,
couple of years back.
yeah. I've often said if they had recruiting like they did in football and basketball, she'd have easily been a 5-star.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard that she could probably have. She may have. I know she played basketball a little bit.
Yes.
I heard she could have played any sport in high school that she wanted to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was that good.
All right. Well, our next topic of conversation. So Hillgrove started in 2006, and the first football coach was Coach Ironside.
Yeah.
And he let you be what's called the chaplain for the football team.
Yeah.
So just explain to everybody what is the chaplain and how'd you get that and what was that like?
Yeah. So I actually met Coach Ironside. I was on staff at a church right down the road from the school, and I think when they were building the school, they were using our church facilities for all of the sports and extracurricular signups. So if you were in the band and you needed to turn in information, I think it was a Tuesday night. The band director, the football coach, the baseball coach, they were all up here. And so you would go and you would say, hey, I'm Chad, and I want to play football. And you would turn your information in to the coach. So I met the coach that way. And I was on staff at the church they were doing. I was their youth pastor. And I met him. He met some of the coaches, and he asked me, hey, if you want to be our team chaplain, we'd love to have somebody. Basically, all a team chaplain is just a youth pastor or a pastor who just gives spiritual guidance to the players on the team. They serve. They come and like I feed them popsicles. On days that are hot. Sometimes when it was cold, I come up to the campus and come up to the field and have hot chocolate for after practice. My mom used to cook dinner for all the coaches and stuff like that. So basically, Coach Ironside would ask me to speak on Fridays before the game to kind of give a little pregame devotional. And I would just teach something from Scripture to the kids each week. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I met Coach Ironside. And I've been up there to school since they opened, really.
So my question is, how are people like receptive to like the scripture and stuff?
The kids have always been super respectful of me, which I'm grateful for. And I get everybody doesn't have the same beliefs I do. But I try to teach scripture in a way that they will understand it. That maybe I'll plant a seed for those that maybe don't believe in Christ. And that's what I feel like my gift is that I'm here for is to do that. And I think we all have different gifts, and mine just happens to be, I feel like the Lord's given me a gift to communicate. And they have always, like I said, they've always been receptive and will come up and talk to me about it afterwards and ask me to pray for them if they have an issue or whatever. And that's kind of what I want to do is I don't want to just be the preacher guy. I've got kids the same age as these kids, and some of them have great home life, some of them have bad home life, some of them have no spiritual background, some have spiritual backgrounds. But that's what I want to, be somebody that they can feel comfortable talking to, that not be awkward when we talk to this adult. So I used to be around campus all the time. I'd go in the gym, and I substitute taught at Hillgrove for a long time for the coaches, play basketball with the kids and stuff. So that's kind of what I do with the students up at Hillgrove.
So as the chaplain of the team, and I can relate to this too, as the former manager of the football team and former student at Hillgrove, they let us on the sidelines to watch the games, which is way better than sitting in the stands.
Way better.
But you don't have to make this super long, but just name like one or two like famous or really good players that you've loved to see, because I know a lot of them out of Hillgrove.
Yeah, man, they are. They've all been so kind to me. You don't want to feel like you know somebody if you don't really know somebody. I feel like sometimes somebody may have played football there. Like, oh, I know him. I don't know these guys well, but I know some of them, and they do acknowledge Evan Ingram was always super cool. I loved him. I will never forget seeing him in the parking lot of this has been years ago. It was me and my wife and my youngest daughter and her friend were coming out of La Paria right there on Dallas Highway. And I hear Coach Chad, Coach Chad. And I couldn't tell who it was. And I think he may have still been at Ole Miss at the time. And, or maybe first, second year. And he's just waving at me. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Evan? And to know that he is who he is and to acknowledge me was super cool. Um, there's Kenyon Drake. I saw him last year at the end of my son played football for Hillgrove last year, and we went over to McEachin and put that thing on him like we always do. Uh, I had to get that in there. But I saw Kenyon at the game, and he came and hugged my neck, and it was good to talk to him. And he's currently retired. But yeah, I see lots of students that used to be up there, and whether they went to college or not, they always are super gracious to me.
So you mentioned your son Cooper played football for Hillgrove. So this is, I think, my last question. Let me look. Yeah. So what was it like getting to watch Cooper play?
You know, I coached him in baseball and basketball through his childhood, and he played soccer. He was really good at soccer. I didn't play soccer, so I didn't really know how to coach soccer. All I told him to do with soccer was, hey, learn how to dribble with your left foot. So coaching him and watching him, I never really felt any different. A lot of people said when you coach your son and you watch him as two different things. I really enjoyed it. I tried to keep daddy ball out of it. Like, oh, my son should be this, my son. That's hard not to do because you obviously want the best for your child.
Yeah, you did a good job with that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when we were playing basketball, I coached him, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade at Hillgrove. I'd always volunteer and coach. And I feel guilty sometimes keeping him in the game because he was a decent athlete, but I didn't want to be that guy who plays their son the whole time. And I will never forget, I would pull him out of the game and have him sit, the bench. And finally, one of the dads would help out at practice, he said, look, you need to stop. He knows how to dribble. We need him in the game. And that was confirmation that I wasn't having him in the game too much. But watching him when he got to high school was pretty crazy, and it was fun because I'd always been on the Hillgrove sideline. I've been there since '06 and loved it. I'm energetic. I get into the games. I feel like sometimes people think as Christians that we don't have a want to win mentality, that we're soft. I thoroughly enjoy throttling people. Just
I do too.
Yeah. And so but that was me on the sideline. I wanted to win every time and be gracious and winning. And so, but when he started playing, it was super cool because he'd never played high school sports before. And he tried out his senior year and played. And it was the only nerve-wracking thing for me is he played receiver, and then they eventually, like game 1 or 2, they moved him to catching punts. And I don't care who it is. I get nervous when someone's catching a punt because it's hard to do. That's the only real thing that I was like, I hope he doesn't have an oopsie daisy out there on the field because it's hard to catch punts. And that was the only thing that really made me nervous. I didn't get nervous about injuries or if he's going to get hit hard. It was just part of playing. So, but it was super cool watching him.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't watch his interview, Cooper's interview, I think he was my last interview I had. And like you said, that's his son. So you should really go and check that out. It's a good interview. And I think that's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you coming.
Man, I had a blast, John. I love talking about sports and hanging out with you.
Oh yeah.
We're going to go to that game tonight.
Yes. So everybody, just give a shout out to Chad. I think he did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And I love having him on here.
Yeah, thanks, John. Enjoyed it, man. Anytime you need me, I'll come back.